Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and we're going to be talking about another NFL trade rumor as, we get into, for most of the NFL teams off season, it's going to be a while until, some things happen, but until it starts happening at the end of the, February area, March area, rarely see something happen until a couple weeks after the Super Bowl. But until things happen, we have so many rumors, and something that I did see on the Bleacher Report was a possible reunion with Ryan Tannehill and Arthur Smith, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, who was his offensive coordinator in Tennessee. And I think this was his Arthur Smith's first season with the Falcons as their head coach, and didn't do bad. I mean, they were 6-10, had a rough second half of the season, had a quarterback change at the end of the year. Last, 4, maybe 5 games of the season, whatever it was, had a quarterback change. Bench Mariota don't have a lot of great wide receivers besides Drake London, which I think is a big problem for them, and probably should be looking for a second wide receiver too going into this offseason and free agency or trade market. And then not only that, but not the greatest defense either, and I think that's something that they could really improve this offseason as well. So, moving forward, I think that, something that can definitely happen is the Falcons, trading for Ryan Tannehill. They are, interested in Lamar Jackson, but I just don't see that happening. So then their second choice could be Ryan Tannehill. It's someone that Arthur Smith was very, he's very used to him. I think that Arthur Smith had a big part of the way Ryan Tannehill played in that 2019 season, where he won the Comeback Player of the Year award and was just truly, I would say maybe a top 10 quarterback in the 2019 season. Had a great year, led the Titans. Him and Derrick Henry led the Titans to the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, they were the number 1 team in the AFC, but did get eliminated in the second round. But this year was just a struggle for them. And it's not really Tannehill's fault because he missed a lot of games. I think he missed 5-6 games this season with an injury. Missed 2 earlier in the season against Houston and Kansas City, and then came back for a little bit and then missed more games later. So he came back for a couple, maybe came back 3-4 games, got some wins, and then got hurt again. So, and then missed the final 3 games of the season. So, injuries were a little bit of a problem for him at the end of the season, but I think that Ryan Tannehill, he's still 30. He's old, but he's not that old. He's 34. And with the right offense and the right offensive scheme, I think he could be good. The problem is I think the Falcons would need to add in a running back, which, is not a problem. There are some good, talented running backs in this free agency class this year. Not only in this free agency class, but in the draft class as well. So maybe you add in, if I don't know who you could add in free agency off the top of my mind, but if you're going to add someone in the draft, maybe Jamar, whatever his name, Gibbs from Alabama. He's a nice running back. Tannehill was really good because he had Derrick Henry alongside him in Tennessee, and I think you have to have a good supporting cast for Ryan Tannehill to do better. Drake London's a great wide receiver, but I think he needs someone else. I think that, possibly even if Tannehill doesn't even come there, I think Allen Lazard could be a potential guy that the Falcons could be interested in. Allen Lazard has made it clear that he's not going to be returning to Green Bay. And there are a lot of teams that have interest. I think the Bears are interested, the Falcons. So I think that Allen Lazard can be an option for the Falcons as well. But why trade for Ryan Tannehill now? You have that 8th overall pick. Why not draft the quarterback? And I'll tell you why. So you don't with that eighth overall pick, unless you trade up for something, you'd have to trade up for the first overall pick, because you're not gonna well, unless you'd have to trade up to 3. You can't trade up to 4. The Colts are not gonna trade that pick because they're gonna want a quarterback. Houston won't trade their pick either. So you're stuck at 3. You'd have to go to 3 to get a quarterback if you'd want to, with the Falcons. And I don't think that's not something I see them doing. I don't see them going and trading up at 3 with Arizona Cardinals, which I don't think the Cardinals do. I don't even think the Cardinals will trade their pick either. I think they want, I can't think of his name, his defensive end, but from Clemson, I believe. But I think they want this defensive end, I can't remember his name, at 3, so I don't think they trade their pick. And your only hope is to trade for 1. I don't think the Titans do that. I mean, the Titans. I don't think the Falcons will do that. So in that case, you're stuck at 8. And why not, have Ryan Tannehill for a year, just 1 season, and wait to draft a QB next season, which could be a good idea, right? Ryan Tannehill would go into free agency the next season, the next offseason, and you get to draft a QB in that next draft. It wouldn't be Caleb Williams, but you could get another QB out. And I have no one on the top of my head where you can make a trade to land Caleb Williams to Atlanta. So yeah, that's a good idea. Ryan Tannehill would be, back with his OC in Arthur Smith, now a head coach. And I think that it would be really interesting. Do I think it happens? I don't know. Part of me feels like Tannehill's staying in Tennessee next season. If I'm Tennessee, I'm not having belief in Malik Willis, just of what I've seen of him, earlier in the season in his first starts. He was not impressive at all. The fact, I know Derrick Henry is a great running back, and you always want the ball in his hands, but it kind of felt like the Titans were trying to avoid throwing the ball when Malik Willis was starting. I mean, when Tannehill was starting, yes, they were running the ball a lot to Derrick Henry or whoever was at the running back position for the Titans. But the different thing about it is that they weren't necessarily, all they were doing is running. I mean, I remember one game against the Texans in Houston. We played the Titans, and they only threw the ball 1 time or 1 or 2 times in the second half. So it was kind of like they were avoiding throwing the ball. I mean, I know you got Derrick Henry, but when Ryan Tannehill was doing that, was at the quarterback, it's not like they were, they weren't keeping it away from him. I mean, they were throwing a lot. They had Treylon Burks, they had Robert Woods, they had some good wide receivers. So I just don't, and especially now they just hired a new GM from the 49ers, an executive or something. They literally just hired a new GM today. And I don't think, if I'm a new GM coming in, and I've seen film of what Malik Willis has done, I don't believe in him. And I don't know how, they're feeling, but honestly, I'd rather keep Ryan Tannehill for another year if I'm in Tennessee, but I don't know what's going through their head process right now, and I think, Tannehill should be an interesting place to go. I think there's only really a couple places I see him going this year. I think it's either staying in Tennessee for him or Atlanta. I don't see a lot of other options for him. I really don't. With so many quarterbacks moving places this year, with Derek Carr moving places, Jimmy Garoppolo, probably Trey Lance will be traded. So many quarterbacks being traded. I see Tannehill staying in as the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. But if you would go anywhere, I think that Atlanta would be the best fit, and I think it's really the only fit. I think the only team that will really trade for Atlanta, I think the only team that will really trade for Ryan Tannehill is really, in my opinion, is the Falcons. But that's really it. You guys let me know what you guys think about the Falcons potentially trading for Ryan Tannehill, QB for the Tennessee Titans. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.